Welcome back to this winter of 41 as we play WarPlan. Boy, almost got that mixed up with War Thunder, but no, as we play WarPlan here. I think War Thunder is a great tank driving, aircraft driving game. This is obviously a great strategic game here. So welcome back, fellow armchair generals. Boy, rough start. Okay, a note on supply, unlike earlier playthrough in which, and I've been planning on getting Vichy Syria into the Axis to deal with supply. But if we look here, this is just early on because I know people don't always watch all of this stuff. We have lots and lots of supply here this time. It's because this time the British have not taken Basra, and Iran is also in the Axis. So we're getting supply coming, and we also control here, port side, the Suez Canal, whatever you want to call it. So it's coming from here through this hex here to the Persian Gulf here to the Red Sea, and supplying up here via ship. Probably under these conditions, it's maybe not realistic to do so readily, though of course you have to figure in historically you do have the Ethiopian front. If we're doing this well, the Italians might actually have a chance to hold out there until relieved as well. So yeah, Ethiopia is a minor thing. Might be something for a cool DLC. Hint, hint, Alvaro. I know there's work being done, not any time scale that I know of, on a Pacific campaign. But if you sort of feel the need to go, yeah, let's, make a map extension down here for Ethiopia, Eritrea. I don't know. It's really a sideshow, but I do remember the old Avalon Hill game, Third Reich, getting a semi-official expansion down there, and I, played that. Okay. Well, indecision. Oh, come on. If I go here, I go off screen. If I go here, it moves it, so I gotta hit the right thing. Oh, that's too noisy for echoing. Indecision kills generals more than anything else. We have the Yugoslav occupation force we have here, so I don't think we need the Italians here. Definitely been talk, and I think it's good talk about seeing about using the Paris to take Malta if we can. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we can land here, but it'll be an interesting experiment to see if we can take. The original plan was to do a combined German and Italian parachute landing on Malta, but we can try a naval invasion, if nothing else, with a bunch of air units to pound them. Okay, let's look at production here. Okay, we have more merchant marine coming July 30th. Not just landing ships, but we need that to get supplies running through here. Just because supplies through there, potential supplies coming across the Black Sea. We're going to build, we're going to overbuild on this. We're going to build one more. Not enough. Oh, that's right. We don't have enough shipyards. I keep forgetting about that. Good thing I did expand it by 2 shipyards early on. Well, since we can't do that, no, not an infantry division. Okay, well, a 1942 infantry corps. Now we have a lot putting to upkeep here. Or, you know, we have 150 here, so they're using 149, which is definitely hurting our new build elements. But let's take a look at some of these units here. 1940 assault, 41 assault, 41 assault. So these guys should be 40 assault on a upgrade path. Prioritize reinforcements. I don't know if that prioritizes upgrades as well. So that's part of what we're doing here with having reinforcements / upgrades at such a high level. But I think just another large infantry corps would be nice. Yeah, this is actually fairly accurate here. Alvaro did comment, finding some of these names are a bit difficult in that a lot of units, the names were not core actually standard German corps. A lot of these numbers do stay around for a long time, but first SS Panzer, that as a corps, that should come much later than this 41 in the stack of numbers. But so he has a bit, has to sort of, shall we say, use his imagination to a little degree here, I think. 1st Cavalry Corps. I don't think it existed. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think it existed. Because just so that you know, at the time of World War II, from the beginning to the end, the German army, the Heer, had one and only cavalry division. That's it. One. Now they had a bunch of other cavalry units that were often reconnaissance units as part of infantry divisions, and recon units at various times, some before the war, sort of carry on cavalry traditions, though they're motorized. They no longer have horses. But so yeah, there's definitely some of that, but there was one and one only division. Now SS Cossacks, there definitely was some of that. Now there were several Cossack divisions. There were attached, if you will, to the German army. There was an SS Cavalry Corps. I don't know. There were several Waffen-SS cavalry divisions, mostly, if not entirely. I know I'm safe at saying mostly of foreign troops made up of the Waffen-SS. Now there were a bunch of SA Ritter units. Yeah, I don't know whether they're Standarten or what, I forget what size, but there's a bunch of SA Ritter units, cavalry, and there was a bunch of SS Ritter or cavalry units. But those SS ones were still basically in the Allgemeine SS, the General SS, not the Waffen-SS, though they were supplying troops to the Waffen-SS. The SA units were set up as a militia type force before the start of World War II, but in its setting up over in don't know how many of you who are watching this know that I have extensively worked with a mod, or mods actually, for Hearts of Iron 3, some for Hearts of Iron 4, but I have Third Reich Events, which is a massively popular, if I do say so myself, mod for Hearts of Iron 3. And we look very much at the SA and how the SA is operating through this whole time period. The SA, go back to Ernst Röhm, is trying to be a not just a counterbalance, but a replacement for the army. But once Röhm's gone, it looks Hitler's using it more as a counterbalance to the army. And so you have that's going on, but it's also, and continues to morph as time goes on, especially once conscription happens in Germany, as a pre-training for the army. You have the HJ, the Hitlerjugend, doing military style training. The boys grow up and get a bit older, and they go into the Reich Arbeitsdienst. I'm sure I'm butchering that. Germans live with it. The RAD, and that is a labor force, most often working outside, and generally speaking in the countryside. And one of their major pre-war missions is to increase arable or farmland, effectively put more and more of Germany into food growth. Once the war starts, they're doing things like road, railway, bridge repair, to the point that they're given rifles. And although they're not a military organization, so technically they're civilians in a war zone that are armed, technically, and they're not meant as a combat unit. But it's just like, oops, you bump into some enemy soldiers, because they were definitely operating within the sound of the guns, artillery or whatnot. In the French campaign, I think a bit in the Polish campaign. In the Polish campaign, the SA actually were combat units, but that's another story. But so that the labor force is in a militarized role. But even before the war starts out, they continue military training. But parallel to all of this, and sometimes just because the bit aged out already, the SA is doing military training, and they do a massive program all across Germany for horses, and it's the Ritter SA, or the Reiter SA, or however you want to translate that into English. And it's a semi-independent within the SA. And they really very much also sort of have a non-stormtrooper element to them, that are just basically horse farmers in Germany? To me, in America, in the West, we call them ranchers. But those that raise horses, particularly as a, as their main animal. You're not raising them for, I don't know if I want to call them crop or livestock, because you're not, I guess they are livestock, but you're not really looking, well, maybe the Germans ate them. I don't just mean for emergencies, but for food. But really trying to have improved German horse breeds, more for military purposes. So that, growing more horses. So these would be guys not with wearing swastikas and brown uniforms, but they were part of this horse element of the Ritter SA. And then of course you have young men that are being trained to ride and handle and take care of horses, and they're not going into the cavalry division. They're going into possibly the reconnaissance element, the mounted reconnaissance elements of the army, or the artillery elements of the army, because much of that is still horse-drawn artillery, horse-drawn anti-tank guns, all that kind of thing throughout the war. And of course the logistics corps for the German army, that's horse-drawn. And so they know how to ride horses, but they also know how to take care of the horses, how to put on the tackle to pull wagons, handle all that stuff. So there's this massive sort of SA training program with the horses. So there's lots of horse type elements within the German army, but one actual division. And then you have foreign elements coming in that are various statuses within the Heers, but they're foreign elements. The SS, like I said, they did have Ritter SS units that went on, we can call anti-partisan and other sorts of nasty operations, particularly in Poland after that thing. So they did carry guns, but they weren't part of the Waffen-SS. The Waffen-SS had several horse unit divisions. Most of them, I think, are either foreign or Volksdeutsch, like Germans from Hungary and whatnot. But some of the later ones that were created were basically using remnants of some of the earlier SS horse divisions, and just new divisions names. So the older divisions gone. So if you look at the total number of the divisions, in the Waffen SS, they didn't all exist at once. But yeah, I'm thinking here. Oh, do we have the stats here? Operation 7 versus Operation 5. So a little weaker, obviously, but a little more mobile. So we'll do this as sort of a cheap wannabe. We'll call it the 1st Cavalry Corps. Force, just I don't know that we have enough, far from it. And yes, I was reminded that we need to start walking these. Start walking these guys forward as well, that now that we no longer need them in Norway. And we will well, we'll see about getting these guys out of here. Maybe up to Finland or something. I don't know. Not so. I'm far from sure that I have enough infantry corps to deal with the Soviets, and far from sure that I have enough armored corps. But 1 or 2 more mobile corps would be useful potentially. Okay, let's look at Italy now. Yeah, nothing really, because we're doing a lot of upkeep and maintenance to keep all these forces functioning. Okay, so yeah, we will end this. I know a lot of talking. Are you sure you want to end it? No, but we will anyways. I hope you enjoy this. I know some of you have watched some of this stuff before. Okay, well, you're withdrawing inland, but away from possible supply sources, so you're just going to starve or run out of fuel or ammo or whatever it may be. Okay, Germany fighter bomber advancement to 3, Italy assault advancement to 3, Germany supply trucks, 20 of them, and 20 Italian supply trucks. Out of the pool, Germany is lacking merchant marine convoys. Turkey ships will be used to ship the remaining resources. Iraq is lacking merchant marine convoys, yes. So we need more merchant marines. Iraq needs 20 merchant marines to fully transport resources. So we are lacking all of our resources because we don't have enough merchant marines. Mediterranean group sinks 4 convoys. Okay. Bummer. So Italy lost 4 convoys. We need to deal with this. And we are, well, I want to save this right now. Okay. Just save, just in case I do a misclick. I'm really, unless it's I will just sort of experiment on things like, oh, how good does this work or whatnot, and see with it. But mostly I'm not trying to. No enemy fleet found. Look for fleets, come out here. Yes, we're burning our fuel. These guys are not well organized, so maybe I should wait a turn for them. I don't know. Okay, they're not in range, so we will move you to here. And you guys are much better organized, so maybe you'll have a chance of finding them. Oh well, we damaged them some. Very good. Okay, I think that's it really effectively for that region on going after them with aircraft. I could have sent these guys there, but I'm sort of worried about that mechanized force. Okay, not really worried about. I mean, these are things we have to deal with, but not really worried about here. Okay, yeah, let's... Ooh, 8 to 1. Bye-bye. Well, they retreat. Okay. One to two, not a very good. 4 to 1. Okay, well they're severely crippled. Let's see, can they? Yeah, they can. Oh, they should have attacked first. Well, we're gonna cut them supply and potential. I don't want to retreat into Baghdad. I maybe should have moved that before. Yeah, not attacking, just moving up there. Well, we'll do a light airstrike. Shatters, very nice. Okay, well, we're pushing up the Nile. That is good. I don't know. Okay, well, we have these guys here. Let's just move it to here for now. Come soon and take the Aqaba. Now, I was hoping they would get a little more organized, but we're going to come down here. I'm gathering there may not be any British down there. If we can take Kuwait, that would be useful. Some oil, just generally denying it to the Allies. So hopefully we can do sea transport enough. Okay, we will get more landing ships in March. Just no more merchant marines, but now I think we can build more merchant marine. Merchant marine. Not enough shipyards. I thought we got. Oh, those are trucks that we got. Yeah. See, if I were to remember these things, it would be helpful. Okay, well, they're cut from supplies. Let's move you up to there. Kill that. You come to here. 0 to 1. No, we don't want to attack there, but we want to continue to starve you out. Okay, I was going to move you south, but I've changed my mind because you're going to be the occupation force that hangs out here. Now, I'm not even going to bother. Oh, well, that one's double secret. Error situation. So we're going to get you out of there. You out of here. Yeah, down to Copenhagen. It's nice. Yeah, so let's bring the German Navy back to Kiel. That looks cool. Okay. Be able to operate in the Baltic. Soon we'll get our. We have been massively hurt by this, because that would have been lots more resources coming into play. So many games. I'm jumping back and forth. Is it MPP? That's Strategic Command. Is it ICs? No, that's Hearts of Iron. This, I guess, is just production resources, whatever you want to call them, production resources. Different games, same basic thing, but okay. Enough of gamer ranting about playing too many games that he enjoys. I know you don't want to hear it. Okay, well, you come, yeah, I guess up to here. You come up to here. Okay, we have 3 German Corps here. Let's... You come to there. I'm going to put you on the train to here. I guess you come into the mountains here, not that great a supply. Right now. Okay, well, you're going to be the down here. Help deal with all of these. You're dealing with Antonescu, which I understand he was a reasonably good military commander. The only one I know that Monstein sort of respected. Okay, you guys, I guess, keep marching. Well, maybe we'll just rail you up to here. You keep marching forward. Don't know how much of an army we want to keep back to defend. I keep thinking partisans, but with this, we're not likely to have too much in the way of partisans. Now, the Royal Yugoslavian Air Force here, these are set up as interceptors. They will do light airstrikes and help us. Hopefully they won't get destroyed at any time, because then oh, those are fighter bombers. Good. Those are a little more useful in that type range, and fighter bombers here. Okay, well, those will be useful for light airstrikes, dealing with enemy air activities here. And light airstrikes are useful. They're just not, I don't know, devastating or whatever as a proper air attack. Come here, marching through the snow. You should be well used to the snow by the time we get to the front. And well, okay, we have 5 corps, or 5 infantry corps, 1 armor. We could probably use some more here to push this part. Well, maybe we wanted to come south that way. Yeah, we'll have to think about this. We still have time to move, shuffle forces around. Now, again, it was brought up about switching out some of these German units for like Yugoslav or Romanian forces. Well, most of these are divisions. You can't upgrade a division, but you can combine two divisions to get to a weak corps, or you can combine a division and a weak corps, which this is a weak corps here, to a strong corps. I'm probably going to move. Well, I don't know. I think it's just 3 corps here that are weak corps. Upper Rhine Garrison, the Saar Garrison, and this was, I think, the Eastern Front, sort of frontier garrison. Yeah, these divisions aren't going to be all that useful on the front, so I think they're a little more useful sitting back here, just in case there's an invasion of some sort. Okay, well, now we, as mentioned before, we want to put you on ships, and I think we're going to go for a dash down to here, and get off the ships. There we go. Now we have Rommel, actually Rommel, here, and properly in command of, well, the Arabia Corps, as we may now call it. The Deutsches Afrikakorps, still DAC. Okay, let's put these guys on board ships. Come down to here too, and load here. Oh no, gotta get onto the right unit. That'll put them to there. Okay, so now we have that. These guys are moving here, and they're going to come via ship to somewhere here to be able to deal with, probably right to here to see about dealing with Malta. If we can do that. I don't know how much we really need that. I am still theoretically a little worried about, though, getting less and less of any sort of naval invasions in the Mediterranean, so some of these units will get shifted soon, and maybe already should be shifted, but, well, I'm not perfect. Okay, I think the Italians, with the lack of supply, can clean up here. And we want to be ready up here as soon as we can. Still a little. Oh, wow, damage too. Okay, so we damaged that some more. That was a good strike. That was a good strike. Here, what I'm okay, well, you disembark. You continue your slow march up to here. Okay, now we can't enter here because they're still neutral, but if they switch out to being not neutral, or if they are in the Axis and being invaded by the Americans, we are looking at a relief force, and that's sort of what I'm getting some of these guys ready for here. I know the Italians aren't going to do great against Americans probably, but okay, they have more merchant marines coming. We're limited. Landing ships March 6. Okay, well, maybe in the next turn we'll get those so we can start more merchant ships. Production, let's look at Italy. They have more coming. So let's look at Italy because we've been losing a lot. Still have 35 merchant marines, but we're going to purchase more merchant marine. Oh, 100. No, okay. What we're going to have to do is reduce our commitment to reinforcements and upgrades to increase our stockpile enough. That should be helpful. Hopefully they're getting a little bit of the bonus from down here. Germany could send some more. Well, I think the going is fairly good. You get out of the boats and you're there. Okay, good. So now we have Corps leading that. These guys can move to where they're sort of supposed to be to protect Genoa from any landings. I want to protect the possible from whether Gibraltar or if they take here and are something of being aggressive. Again, he who commits his reserves last wins. Okay, well, let's see, partisan activity. Okay, that's cutting our supply. Well, we have sea supply up to here, so that's good. Well, that's not much of a problem. We should be getting our railway supply coming from Turkey through here now. I don't know why it was saying boats for that, but okay. We should be able to get, because Bulgaria is in the Axis, or Hungary's in the Axis. That should link everything up, supplying via Turkey, so I don't know. Let's see, okay. Well, we just had our cavalry corps, which will be here in June. Yeah, those are mostly out of our... Oh, we also have to look at that. I think another large infantry corps would be useful. So let's purchase that. Well, no, it would be useful. That isn't a question, but okay. Now, well, we can't get... Oh, we can get to here. And well, let's move you to here. You down to here for next turn. And next turn they'll be sitting right on some convoy lines. Okay, that looks good for the winter. I would say tell me what I missed, but it's... By the time I hear you, it'll be too late. Okay, escort fighters to 2. Very good. Germany's landing ships. 30 adding to the pool, which also frees up dockyards to build more merchant marines. Yes, we're lacking. We know we're lacking all kinds of merchant marine sources here very badly. Okay, no losses in the Mediterranean. Well, one of these is ours. Oh, I think this. I'm not sure. Maybe Italy lost one there, and then we back up here sunk 3 convoys and 1 escort. That is good. That is good. Okay. Now, well, while we're looking at that, let's. These guys are sitting on the convoy. These guys are going to come up over to. Well, we don't want to be too near the air up there, so we're going to come out here. Our next turn. Operations. Oh, well, let's go up to Narvik and see if we can free up our port, though I think it's already sort of too late for this season. No, not yet. Okay, that's the supply look like here. Okay, oh, that's 5. Yeah, that's plenty good for next turn's attack. We'll do a whatever it'll be. They'll be weaker by that point. Well, okay, I should have attacked beforehand. And even still. Wow. There we go, actually. Well, they were able to retreat. Oh god, Italian forces. We'll just weaken them. These guys will come down to here to do that, and then come back up here just to sort of secure all of that for the glorious new Roman Empire. What does the supply look like here? Okay, 3. That's all right. Well, okay, so maybe supply will run through here, potentially up to there. Now, instead of trying to do this at a 2-to-1, what we're going to do is 9-to-1 attack there. They're going to come and just take them out, and hopefully that's defensively still strong enough to hold there. Oh, okay, this is where I say it, just because this is a risky, stupid move. That I will take back if it... Because I don't see it down here. There is a little bit of fog of war in this, but since we don't have it... Okay, so there we go. We now have Kuwait. The British don't have it. Now, I'm going to attempt at some point just to see if it can be done, because I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether you should be able to or not. A naval invasion of South Africa, and you shouldn't be able to. It's going to just sort of, I'm going to see if I can do it. Naval of Allied Pacific powers. I don't know if there's an event coming, late 41, Japan comes to the war and this disappears, because this was very real in helping out Britain before Japan gets into the war. You have, the British Empire in India providing combat units, but production there. Ishapur arsenals were producing Enfield rifles, a Vickers light machine gun that's like a Bren gun. Other war materials were being produced in India. Well, eventually you get actually in New Zealand, Bren gun carrier. Say a factory were they actually producing them? I'm still not sure, or whether they were just assembling them. Particularly, I'm thinking of the engines, but casting the like road wheels and whatnot, that doesn't seem beyond the powers. I just wonder about making engines. That's an engine is a piece of steel that needs to be able to take high temperatures for a long time. And although a lot of it may be cast, there's also a lot of machining out to do. And God, I'm not an expert on this, but that is a lot more than taking some steel, mild steel, and pouring it into a mold and coming up with, a road wheel for like a Bren gun carrier, or a track, piece of track link, in a cast, a thing, casting a bunch of that in them and then linking them together, and probably getting which maybe including the steel, that because I don't think there's much steel production, if any, down in New Zealand, getting steel from the US and melting it down for into doing the production in New Zealand for the Bren gun carriers. But now this is, I do believe, after Japan enters the war that they do this, in the US is whatever, but I'm pretty sure things like the steel plates for the that you weld together for the Bren gun carrier, those are just being shipped in from the US and done there. But maybe they were making their own steel down in New Zealand. I don't think so, but I don't know. Now in Australia you have the Lithgow arsenal, which were making Enfield rifles and things like that were being produced, plus just resources and other trade. By now 41, nothing really coming from China, but you still have Malaya, the Dutch East Indies, all of that stuff pouring in a lot of resources, which would include food and other things. Bauxite, whatever. And so that a lot of that needs to either is taken over by the Japanese, or just needs to be used to equip the Australian forces and the Indian Army forces that are facing the Japanese. So that in a way should go away, but we shouldn't, and you should be able to the Allies should be able to put, like if a naval unit needed to retreat from here to there or whatever, because this was sort of, shall we say, instead of just Pacific resources but Indian resources, move into here. The main ground forces, if I remember correctly, that crushed the Iraqi revolt come from the Indian Army. It's actually more India's responsibility than Middle East Command's responsibility to deal with the Iraqi revolt that we're seeing, that did happen, that we're seeing here now, just be super more successful. And there should have been a Kuwait garrison or something to put that down, but I think the AI moves it over to here. I don't know if we know it's one of these or not, but yeah. Okay, well, they're cut off and they're going to starve. We've already looked at that. Ooh, well, double secret rain, so yeah. Oh, that's why there's two convoy units. Okay. Well, no air operations. I don't know that we should even try risking the Italian Navy after that. Oh, now that's working. For a while this wasn't working for me, hitting the convoy routes to see what were active. Okay, so this is active. This is active. We're now back to coming through Sweden. That will help us so much. Yeah, Turkey should be overland entirely by now. Which also looks like it means maybe, well, this would be sea operations through to here, railway up and through to Turkey. And I guess we're getting it through supply or whatever coming through Syria. Maybe because, well, we're not getting any more influence actions. Don't know why we're not, as Germany, getting more influence actions. Well, we'll try, Italy will try to influence. Visit Vichy, improving relations between both countries. Let's try to improve relations with Portugal. There we go. Now we're at, well, we're still at 0% there. Okay, but okay, well, hey. These guys have any diplomats? No, didn't think so. They really weren't that influential. You can move to there, you move to here. No longer have the rain, we can now move. It's already March, which is both good and bad. Don't have that snow. Getting close to needing time to go. Let's put you on boats. You dash over to here, because I don't think there's any navy but the submarines. So you come to here and you get off the boats. And hopefully we can get up to 100% organization and get good enough weather to invade and whatnot. I really think there was a massive effort going back and forth. There should be a supply route to keep Malta alive that I could cut better, but I don't know. Some of you who either read a better article or something know better. Maybe you should tell me on how best to cut off Malta's supplies with the game mode. Okay, still undecided about what to do with these Italian units, whether move them via rail to fight the Soviets, come down to stand off the Americans. Just, well, it's not till 42 that the Americans show up, so there's historically, which I presume is when we're going to see them. Okay. Oh, we have a mechanized corps ready. Okay, very good. Let's deploy the mechanized corps. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so March 18th, we're coming up with the next Panzers, and April 15th. I'm thinking about a May invasion if I'm feeling good enough with it. Okay, with that in mind, we're going to cut that back down to 100. We're going to, because we need merchant marines. Let's see. 1, 2. Okay, that's about all we can really afford, because we do need to stockpile for other things. There is useless there now. Because I want supplies and fuel and whatnot to flow out of. How is Germany's fuel doing? Okay, oil 649, 46. Okay, because we keep using it up, but hopefully they're stockpiling some. 5. Well, they don't have a use for it because they have no air. These guys are stockpiling a bit because they have air. They don't have air, but they have some. Again, no air, but some. Hopefully they're shipping most of it to us. Okay, they got a lot, but they're shipping a lot to us. Keeping their air in Yugoslavia. Oh, okay. Well, they have. Let's create a convoy to Yugoslavia for 3 fuel. Okay, that way we're running some fuel so that the Yugoslav Air Force can fly, fight, whatnot. Have a stockpile of that. Oh, okay, yeah, that'll get healed. That'll get healed. Not cutting anybody off. Yeah, those guys should operate there this turn. Okay, well, looking good, looking good. Let's. Oh no, let's move you to a port. You up to Salonika, and you move towards a port there. That's sort of where your goal is. Oh, these guys are supposed to be walking forward. Well, we can put you on a train. Don't know how much we should split these guys up. Oh, no. Just because of their HQ is of limited capabilities. But if we keep them sort of in this realm, that may be able to do it. Okay. Yeah, we moved most of the German army up that we could. Or we needed to. Okay, Lend-Lease. The US begins Lend-Lease. UK gearing up for war. Finland joins the Axis. Finland joins the Axis. Synthetic fuel plant comes online on Hex 157 by 56, providing 5 oil. Very nice. Germany is lacking merchant marine convoy. Turkey ships will be used for the remaining resources. Turkey, okay. Well, I thought that should be over land. But I don't know. Maybe that's going from mainland Turkey to the continent. I don't know. Iraq, okay, so we're using German ships there. Iraq needs more merchant vessels. Mediterranean convoy sinks none. Okay, well that's good for us because we didn't lose any there. Now here, oh, no. I will go with rain, yes. Double secret super rain in the desert. Or not all this is desert, I know. I'm just not going for it. A whole 2 weeks worth of rain so bad, no operations can happen. Nope, not buying it. One to two. Okay, you need to starve out a little more. But you're doing that. Okay, well. Nope. they can't take off in their double secret. They could reposition, but they can't take off for air operations. You come to here. Ooh, 3-1. Okay, I know that hurts us. There we go. That's destroyed. There we go. You're gonna head back up towards Basra. You okay? You're still not getting enough supply or something to upgrade. You're still stuck at 5. Hopefully they will continue to get some level of reinforcement. Let's do that. No, okay. I just don't feel overly inclined to assault that right now. And the Panzer Corps is ready. Okay, so we have one down here. I would love to have 2 down here, but we have 1. Just to be able to break out and push deep. I think we need another one up here. So this one may end up getting to push more this way than north. Oh, we need a couple of more Panzer Corps. April, yeah. Okay, so let's deploy you. No, let's not deploy you. Cancel. Cancel deployment. You come to here. Now we'll come back to here and deploy you here. Okay, you're going to deploy there. So I'm thinking 1 Panzer Corps to try to push north. I would like 2 our mech corps to go along there. I may withdraw one of these 2 Panzer Corps here and leave it to the. Probably will. Probably should. We're gonna have the German Mountain Corps, or the GURBS. Oh yeah, the German Mountain Corps and the Italian Alpinis fighting here, which both of those are going to be decent units. We're going to have. I was moving, but I retasked over here the Infantry Corps. We're going to have at least 1 Italian Infantry Corps here, and the Mech and Armor Corps here, because these guys are still beat up, and we'll get them hopefully. Well, I got a long ways to go. We'll see about that. So if one of these Armor Corps comes back to here, back up to the eastern front, and so we have a German armor, German mech, Italian armor, Italian mech here, so that's 4 mechanized corps moving here. I think supply will just die here. We'll try to push something up to get this here. Other than it's on the map, I don't know what this is for. This obviously can get supply. Well, maybe there's, I don't know, something to move supplies this way. But yeah, once you take the ports, I don't really know what. And yeah, if we have Baku, we can supply forces here, but I don't know about marching forces up this side. So, but we'll try to push some unit up there just to see. So, yeah. Yeah, Stalingrad is sort of our ultimate southern approach. So probably see about getting one of these once we get that Mech Corps killed. One of these Panzer Corps back this way. So that we'll have one Panzer Corps down here. We'll have one Panzer Corps to move there. Yeah, I don't know. Do we wait till June? Do we wait till June? I just don't know. Well, on all of that, we'll make those decisions in the future. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And of course, I really love hearing from you. So please post questions, comments, suggestions, tips. See you next time for more historical gaming.